You know, something really weird is going on. I'm not sure what to do about it or who to call. Exactly 6 weeks ago, 6 p.m., I got stuck. Not in one spot. I got stuck on the sidewalk in front of this house. Now I'm stuck in this house. I know the exact time because I always leave work at 5 o'clock. It takes me 55 minutes to get to my stop, and then there's 3 blocks to get to my apartment, about 5 more minutes. And I was just coming home from my filing all day on my boring temp job, walking the same boring walk home thinking, what am I going to have for supper? So I started playing a little sort of mind game, just to liven things up a little. And I'm thinking, if the bus passes me before I get home, I'll get stuck wherever it passes me. No rushing or anything, just walking normally. Anyway, I'm playing this game about the bus passing me. I'm almost home. The bus passes me, okay, so game over. I keep on going home. But I can't. I'm in front of this house, and I'm trying to keep going, but I can't. There's some kind of an invisible wall, and I can't get past it. So I go back and try to retrace my steps, but when I do, there's another invisible wall at the other end of the sidewalk in front of this house. So I try to step off the curb, and I can't do that either. And the only place I can go is knock on the door of the house and hope they let me in. It's getting the end of November, and it's getting pretty chilly. If I had my cell phone, I could call someone, the police, an ambulance. But do I have my cell? Nope. Of course not. It's at home. I either forget my cell at home or I can't hear it ring. And if I do, it's at the bottom of my purse. I can't reach it until it's too late. And it goes on voicemail, and I don't know how to get to my messages on voicemail. What can I tell you? I'm a cell phone failure. So I do the only thing I could do. I could see this young couple through the window eating their dinner. And I hate to interrupt, but I ring their bell. And this young guy comes and answers the door. I try to explain to him what happened. I tell him I live in the apartment building next door. He just cuts me off, tells me to go home, shuts the door. I let a few minutes go by and ring the bell again. Nothing else I could do. Much more of it this cold, I'd turn into the snow lady. He comes to the door again and looks really irritated. I tell him, look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your dinner, but I'm really stuck, and it's getting really cold out here. Could you please just call the police or an ambulance or something who might know what to do? So he lets me in. By then, my teeth are chattering. His wife sees that I'm really cold and offers me some coffee. He goes off to make the call, and she introduces herself. Her name is Candy, short for Candace. His name is Bob. So then he comes back and says, the cops will be here in a few minutes. Before you know it, the doorbell rings. Bob opens the door, and a policeman and his partner, a woman, are standing there. They come in. They ask me what the problem is. I tell them that I live next door. They just tell me to come along with them, and they would escort me home. I wasn't going to say no. Maybe this wall thing doesn't work when the police are involved. So we start out. We get to the sidewalk, start walking to my building. They're a little ahead of me and keep going when they realize I'm not with them. I'm stuck at the wall. They look back and tell me to stop resisting them. I tell them I can't get through. The policeman, Jansky's his name, says, give me your hands, which I do. I'll pull you, and Officer Janice will push from behind. So that's what we do. Nothing. They keep pulling and pushing until I thought my arms would be pulled out of their sockets. They finally realize it won't work. So they decide to go in the other direction. And sure enough, we hit that invisible wall again. And then again when they tried taking me off the curb. Only direction I could go in was to the house. So there was nothing to be done but have me stay in the house till they could figure out how to get me out. That didn't go over so well, especially with Candy. I can understand. It's like having a witch in your house. So Jansky offered to stay over and sleep on the couch till the next day. So it's the next day. It's me and Officer Jansky. He's a big guy, looks worn out. Big guy on a short couch. Candy and Bob have gone to work, and Jansky tells me first thing he'll walk me around outside just to see if that wall is still there. So that's what we do. Nothing's changed. I'm still stuck. He calls the precinct, tells somebody to pick up some things for breakfast for us, and asks to be replaced. So the next question is, what do I do now? I'm supposed to be at my temp job again that day, and how do I explain this to them? Jansky thinks this is funny. What are you going to tell them? So I call her and give her some cockamamie story about a sore throat. Who knows, maybe this will go away in a day or two. Next call is Edith, my friend in my apartment building. How do I explain how I got myself in such a fix? But I need some things if this is going to last a while, and she has the key to my apartment. When I call her, I don't try to explain about the wall. I just say I'm staying with the people next door in this house, and I would explain later, and could you just bring me some clothes and a few other things? She just can't understand. I'm only one door away. Couldn't I just come home and pick them up myself? I finally have to say, I just can't. Please, do what I ask. I'll explain when you get here. And if this keeps up, I still have to explain it to my daughters. Well, Margie anyway. Clarice isn't talking to me. I know how she'll take it too. There's sad, helpless mom making jokes again. Doorbell rings. It's Edith. You should have seen the shocked look on her face when she sees Jansky, policeman. She turns her back on him and whispers, "What did you do? Are you under arrest?" Jansky goes into the kitchen to leave us alone. No, I'm not under arrest. How could I tell her about this silly game I was playing? But I did. Angie, this isn't real, she says. Is this candid camera? She looks around. Am I supposed to smile or something? Takes some doing to convince her I'm really stuck and it isn't some kind of gimmick. Anyway, in the following days, the news gets around about this woman who's stuck, me. And at first it's kind of exciting. Reporters and a parapsychologist yet. I guess that was to see if I had some kind of psychic ability to erect invisible walls, and even a NASA guy in outer space gear to see if I was a threat to the country. That's a laugh. And then comes the psychiatrist. He wants to see if maybe something I'm doing or thinking is making this happen. I tell him about my mind games and how my life is generally okay. Not much to look forward to, but I got my health, have a nice apartment, make enough to get by. And for fun, every once in a while, I take out my diamond tiara to give it some air. He doesn't laugh. He asks if I like my job. It's temp work. It's okay. The thing is, you don't stay in one place that long, and so you're kind of invisible when you're there. Pretty boring, but it doesn't tie me down, so at least I can take off whenever I want. Joke is I don't take time off because there's always something unexpected I need money for. Like a weekend at the Hilton. Don't like to laugh at that either. So he wants to know if I always make jokes about my life. Sure, I said. Nobody likes a complainer. Then he asked if there was anything that I ever wanted to do with my life that I didn't get to do. Yeah, I had this crazy notion. I wanted to be a writer. I even took writing class at the Y. And I would get these assignments, and then my husband would come home from work, and he'd want to go to a movie. He was the one working all day and bringing in the money. How was I going to say no? So we'd go to a movie, and I wouldn't get to my assignment, and I started falling behind, and finally I just quit. So psychiatrist asks, "Where's your husband now?" "We're divorced." He didn't ask why. I could have told him it was nothing personal. Just didn't want to keep being married. To me, anyway. Then he says, "You have time now. You could take a class online and get back to writing." Yeah, I could. How do you do that? Maybe back then, my head, something might have come of it, but now, I don't have any idea that I would write about. Candy and Bob moved out.
Oh.
I wasn't going anywhere, and they wanted their own place. Edith doesn't come anymore. Margie comes once in a while when she can get away. Something weird's happening. The walls keep shifting. I can't walk out around on the sidewalk anymore, and I can't go upstairs. Even the living room's getting smaller. Good thing there's a John down here. Powder room, really. Today, someone was at the door and I couldn't open it. I tried calling out to them. They couldn't hear me. Do you think I might be disappearing?